Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of We Are ISACA. This is actually the first episode where we're bringing our guests in virtually. If you missed any of the first 3 episodes, make sure you check them out by searching We Are ISACA on YouTube. We're talking to ISACA members around the world about who they are beyond being an ISACA member. Joining me today are Gustavo from São Paulo and Glory from Abuja, Nigeria. Can you guys please introduce yourselves? Glory, we'll start with you.
Yep, thanks Megan. Glory Idehen, Abuja, Nigeria.
Thank you. And Gustavo?
Hi, my name is Gustavo Galegale. I'm from São Paulo, Brazil, and I'm currently São Paulo's chapter president.
Thank you. All right, so to start with, we're going to lay some obligatory ISACA groundwork. So when, how, and why did you get involved with ISACA? Gustavo, we'll start with you.
Okay, officially, I'm a chapter member for, 15 years. I'm a platinum member, but I've been involved indirectly with ISACA since I was a kid. My father was one of the guys who brought ISACA to Brazil in the early 80s. I was a kid back there. We call ISACA EDPAA at the time. I didn't know what ISACA did, but I've always been around. So I've been around ISACA my whole life.
And so it was just natural for you to, when you were growing up and you heard ISACA or EDPAA at the time, to be like, yeah, I think I'm going to do that when I grow up. That sounds cool.
Yeah, I watched my father growing up working in audit, in governance, in control. So I said that I like what you do. It seems fun. I like what we do here in our profession. So it seems natural to me to enroll in this career and grow up to be where I am today.
That's amazing. I don't think I've ever heard that answer from anyone. Glory, when, how, and why did you get involved with ISACA?
2007 to be precise, in Sydney, in Australia, while working over there, and at the time, I was at a point in my career where I just needed something to do something different, to get a push, to move up the career ladder, and then I stumbled into the ISACA information, while going through the library one of those days, and got back to the office, looked up the website, and got full of many interesting opportunities for career development. And certification. So the CISA certification caught my interest, and I immediately signed up and registered for the exam, and then I passed the exam. I just didn't stop there. I just continued to the CIRIX, Seagate, and until recently the season. Being a member of ISACA has really helped my career in so many ways,
Such amazing stories you both have about how you got involved with ISACA, and very unique in their own right. So when we think about your job now, why don't you tell us what you do and kind of that career path that brought you here? Did you go to school to study this? Or so first of all, what do you do now and how did you get here? Glory first this time.
Yeah, no, like I mentioned, I have a degree in computer science, so I was working in the networking and IT background. Like I mentioned, I was with the Ericsson Managed Service as a cybersecurity architect, there in Sydney. So, but then you find out that, at that level, we're more like a firewall specialist, or what we call security specialist, but very technical role, very hands-on, very interesting at the time. But after a couple of years on the job, you just needed something else. You just needed more challenges, more, promotion, let me use the word, so that was where the ISACA thing came in. I remember, when I got into the ISACA thing, got my certification, it was just self-sponsored, so I didn't actually bring it up to my management. So by the time I got the CISA certification and I mentioned it to my manager, Jeff Choi, was like, wow, you got CISA? How did you get it? So I was like, yeah, I've been studying for it. I got it, like, wow, that's great. And so I remember then immediately with that, he kind of, anytime he's going to the head office for the management meeting, he said, Glory, can you come along? So that's how I started going for the management meeting. And just a few months down the line, he got a job with an airline company there in Australia. and that's it. And I had to step up to his role, going to represent more like the team, management role, and that kind of opened up more opportunities, and that's it. And from there, that's how I was able to move on to become an architect, cybersecurity architect. That was with Ericsson. Then moved on to a couple of other companies, to IBM, and then to the Commonwealth Bank. Because, like I said, I got the right experience, the right certifications, CISA, CISM, So, yeah, I think at the time, there was actually a margin, like I said, those were not very popular, but again, for most organizations, they love it. So by the time you say you've got CISA, it was like hot. At that time, it was really hot. It was like, wow, like, how did you get it? I was like, yeah, I got the study guide and prepared for the exam, paid for it. It's like, so.
I've heard it's very hard. I obviously am not a CISA, but I've heard everybody who's taken the exam is like, it's a really, really tough exam. So congratulations on passing it so quickly. How about you, Gustavo? What do you do now, and how did you end up, besides your dad telling you, this is great, do this?
Well, it's like Glory said, a lot of things. I'm currently partner in a local consulting company. It's a family business. I've been partners for, 15 years here. And I like what I do here. We do audits, we do consulting, we do security. We rebranded our company as a boutique consulting company. So we tend more specific services, more specialized services to our customers. And on top of that, I enjoyed the pandemic to open a startup. I have a partner here. I'm a CTO and co-founder of Hightech, which is artificial intelligence and RPA, robotic production of digital ads. I'm the academic coordinator of an ABA course here in Brazil on IT management. I'm also finishing my PhD, and I'm saying that I'm finishing it for longer than I should have. And I'm also a chapter president here at ISACA. So how do I get here? I think that it all started with what you guys call trade school. I did trade school with my high school on IT. I graduated that, went to do my bachelor's on computer science, did an MBA, my master's, my PhD. So I've been studying most of my life. And I found that I like studying. I get the grasp of it, the way I learn. So I've been learning my entire life to do what I do today. So we have like a very diverse base of clients. So each day is like a new adventure for us to solve here.
And so I know that you said that your dad has been involved for a long, long time, but when you were, say, 10 years old, what did you want to be when you grew up? That's young enough where I'm thinking you weren't like, I'm going to go into IT audit. So what did you want to do when you were that little?
No, I really like tech in general. So I'm that the kind of kid that use unassemble a toy and can't put it back together again. I'm always tinkering something. But if I'm not in IT, I think that I would like to be an architect. Just the fun aspects of being an architect, not the boring stuff, dealing with people and projects, just the fine stuff.
There are many people that I've talked to who've said that, I wanted to be an architect. And then they had some horrible story about that didn't go well at all. So probably for the best. But when you were 10, did you want to do I want to be a firefighter or a teacher or anything? No, just tech?
I teach like my father. My father he taught he teaches for over 40 years. So I grew up to be a teacher as well. I teach for 23 years, I guess. And this is something I really enjoy doing. So I'm kind of extroverted. I love talking to people. If you give me a podium, you make my day. I can talk all day long. So I love talking. I love interacting with people. And so this is fun for me when I can speak of tech. I'm an ISACA evangelist. I think that's how we call it. So I get the opportunity and the excuse to talk about ISACA all the time. So this is mostly of what I do here.
So Glory, a question that I have is, when you were 10 years old, little, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Wow, I didn't know. I don't know. Maybe I wanted to be a nurse, you know, because I remember at the time I fell ill a little while and I was at the hospital, and I did appreciate the care, the love from the medical personnel, especially the nurses that were on duty then. I guess that's the best I could remember that I wanted to be. Yeah, I wanted to be a nurse at that time. Yeah, just to be able to care for people, you know, provide the same level of care I was getting from the nurse to other people, other patients that will need the care.
It's a beautiful answer, and I love that and appreciate so much what the medical profession is doing for people. It's just an absolutely amazing thing to witness. But what about now? If you could wake up tomorrow and do anything, what would you do?
I'd like to go back to the classroom, or maybe go to classroom to lecture. You know, just want to be able to impart knowledge, you know, to share knowledge on the younger and upcoming generation. You know, so yeah, I'd like to go back to the classroom and just teach, you know, impart knowledge. Yeah.
So speaking of imparting knowledge, the Abuja chapter has long been involved with ISACA's Community Day and is regularly one of the most active chapters that we have. How did you decide to get involved and to take that to the next level, and what impact has it had on not only members in your area, but like the community as a whole? Because what you guys are doing is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, like we said, we keyed into the global community day, you know, event, and we just wanted to make a difference, you know, impact on the community. So after a bit of brainstorming session, we thought, look, let's reach out to the community. Let's reach out to the schools. Like the other year, we went to the schools. You know, let's see how we can, you know, get them young. You know, like catch them young. You know, let them know about what ISACA is all about. Let them know about the career opportunities that await them if they like, you know, develop interest in this area. You know, and then that's how we were able to identify a school in some of the local communities. And we've continued like that, you know, like every other year we identify community need, you know, and then we try and reach out to the community. You know, just the last one, you know, we went to the National Stadium to do some sports, you know, play soccer, you know, and then because we found a lot of IS professionals were always kid behind our laptops, you know, most time, come home, we're all on the laptop, we're sitting in this sedentary lifestyle they talk about. You know, so we started to take everyone out to the field and stretch out. I came first in the men's athletics, you know. That was good. You know.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put a link in the description of this video so people can go watch the video footage of your event this past year. Thank you for all of the effort that the chapter has done in that. Okay, so Gustavo, if you could do anything today, just wake up tomorrow and do anything, what would you do?
Work related. One of the things in my bucket list is to go to space, but I don't think that's feasible. But maybe those 0G flights that you go up and just drop everything and you're like flying. So this is something that I would look in my bucket list. But work related, what should I do or could I do? I don't know. In my university, we have like some entrepreneurship courses, and I'm a mentor in a lot of those startups that they are creating. So mentoring startups, being the startup ecosystem is something that's bringing me joy recently. I found it's very funny and inspiring to see what everybody's creating, what I'm creating as well. So this whole ecosystem of creators, changing experience, exchanging information is something that I'm quite fond of.
I find it so fascinating because it's like if I could wake up and do anything tomorrow, I'd work in a coffee shop. Just because there'd be like no to-do lists, no emails, I could make everybody happy right in the moment, and then I could go home and forget about it. But everybody I ask is like, oh, I would do something very like profound and amazing for humanity. And I'm like, oh wow, now I feel like this big, so.
We fantasize a lot with other people's professions. Everybody has those ups and downs. I've never been in like direct customer services, serving customers in a coffee shop. I don't think I'm very good at that.
Really? I think you'd be great at it.
Oh, come on.
Has the chapter done anything kind of amazing that you would like to share? Things that you've really given back to your members or the community? Any programs that you have?
At the first community day that we had, it was a blast for us. We partnered with a local community, like underprivileged people, and we thought on bringing ISACA knowledge to them, but the knowledge we put out on ISACA, at least I know a couple of years ago, was really top level, high level stuff. So it's hard to teach that to people who have no IT literacy, no banking literacy. So we create like a workshop, a day workshop to help informal entrepreneurs in those communities. Like you have hairdresser, people who make cookies, people who do transport, informal transport. So we prepare them to be better business owners, to understand security in a hands-on way. So how don't you get scammed at the bank? How don't you how do you do your taxes right? How you understand privacy? But we did that in a language that they could really relate. So this is something very fulfilling. And this year in 2022, we managed to offer our 4 core courses without Edipsi for free for our members. So we have like a rough pandemic. We didn't interact much with our member base. So we managed to do all these trainings for our member base. And we got a lot of new certified professionals in São Paulo chapter.
And how many certifications do you have?
I have from ISACA, I have CEDIPSI, CISA, CIRISC, I have COVID Foundation, and I'm also a COVID Game Master when we did COVID gaming back in the day. So I did that like COVID T2T, TTT when ITpreneurs were still running our courses, so some older certificates as well.
Are you any type of a gamer, like in not COVID gaming, just regular gaming?
Used to, like those people who have clans, who play competitively, but oh come on, I used to play tabletop RPG, the usual nerd stuff that people do in high school. I did the whole thing. But yeah, I do have like a PlayStation at home that I can barely touch it, barely turn it on with a toddler running around in the house. But yeah, I do love gaming. My master thesis was on gamification.
Oh, that's a fun thesis. Yeah?
Yeah.
I like it. So, Glory, what do you think your the personality trait that you possess has contributed most to your success personally and professionally? What personality trait are you like, oh, this is why I've had great success?
People say maybe because of the humility, because of the friendliness, great team player, work seamlessly with different diverse people, different backgrounds. Now I've been across so many places, so many countries. So I bring that to bear in my place of work, at home, and with my friends. So I think people seem to like that, so they like the spirit, the positive vibes, no dull moments, yeah.
This is why I'm drawn to you and Gustavo. It's all those positive vibes you guys are putting out into the universe. It's a beautiful thing. And I know that when I've had the wonderful opportunity to see you in person, it's just joy emanates from you. So you're just a delight to be around. And I think that it's wonderful. You know that about yourself, and that's probably one of the reasons that you've been so successful. So thank you for everything that you do for ISACA and for the members in Abuja and for the community as a whole. Is there any story you'd like to tell or anything about yourself personally or professionally that you would like to share?
Yeah, I think it's about being a goal setter, sometimes, growing up in this part of the world, with limited opportunities, like you would say, but once you set up the goal, you chose to be the best in your choosing career, the sky is the limit, just take up the opportunities as they come up, take up the challenge, don't be afraid to fail, when you fail, you learn from it, you rise up again. And you can go places. I've been privileged to go places. Growing up from the Nigerian streets. The other moment I was in New Zealand, Auckland. And the other time I'm in Sydney, in Australia. Back to Nigeria again. So it's like with that positive spirit. Don't be afraid for any challenges, for any failure or something. And and align with the right people, with the right professional organization, and then you go places. And ISACA has played a great role, in that journey. So excited to be here. Love every moment of it.
I know you do, and we love every moment that you give to us, truly. And I think that your point about where you are in the world is, you've just gotta make your own way, and you can do it. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful story. So Glory, thank you so much for your patience and time today, for connecting with us. I appreciate it. And Gustavo, is there anything about yourself that you want me to know, that you'd like other people to know? Things about your profession, your personal life, your beard?
I do have a story related to the birth of my kid.
Okay.
I'm a big planner. I work with planning. We do planning in ISACA as well. And the birth of my kid was fully planned from the beginning. We have doctors, we have nurses, hire a doula as well, and a whole medical team to support my wife during birth process. And when women are going through labor, usually the water break, and after the water break, you see in the movies people running to the hospital, put everything in the car and go to the hospital. We learned that after the water break, it usually takes 6, 7, maybe 8 hours to the baby being delivered. So our water broke on his birthday, on his birth date, 6 a.m. We just woke up with a huge blob on the bed. Her water broke, so we have some time. She was feeling some pain. We took a shower. After the shower, she was really feeling a lot of pain. We have the doula and a nurse going to our house to accompany us to the hospital. But the baby didn't wait. Since the water broke and the baby was born, Napoleon was born, it took 1.5, 2 hours tops. And I have to deliver him. My son was born in my hands, in my bedroom, just me and my wife at home, without no medical knowledge, without no medical training, without knowing what to expect. She just said something. She was pulling my beard. I have a lot of scratches and bruises because that's what I'm there for. I'm there to support the birth. She said, "I'm feeling something heavy. Can you look?" And the baby was, I think the baby was crowning. I just took my phone and called the doctor, say the baby is being born, and I just went there to receive the baby. I didn't know what to do. In my mind, those pictures and movies from old movies, like the doctor hold the baby and slap the butt to the baby cry. I didn't do that. I hold him upside down, pat on the back, so all the amniotic fluid go out. And once he start crying, understand he's breathing, I give him to my wife, and we call the doctor. He heard the baby crying in the back. So if the baby is crying, everything is okay. I wrap her around a towel, and she was walking to the car. She gave birth to the baby standing up in the middle of our bedroom. She walked to the car with me. We go down the elevator. We go to the hospital. I'm telling this much calmer than I was at the day.
I bet.
I did from my house to the hospital by car 8 minutes, what should be a 20-minute drive. I go through all the red lights, all the speed traps. I didn't carry all the wrong turns. But we managed to get to the hospital. The baby was healthy when you get there. I managed to cut the umbilical cord with something that I want to do, and that a story that I still tell to this day, because this is something that really impacted me. No matter how much you plan, you need to be able to react quickly to whatever is happening.
That is incredible.
Yeah, no, this is something that is really different. This is something that impacted so much that we moved apartments, and I actually took the place of the floor that he was born in. I took with me the floor of the apartment. All the tiles, I rebuilt the tiles in a frame here, so he was born in this piece of ground here. Yeah, what you gonna do? This is one in a lifetime opportunity.
This interview could just be this story. That is fascinating. Oh my God. Incredible. Thank you for sharing that story, because truly mind-blowing. Wow. Props to your wife too for just standing in the bedroom. Unbelievable. I have no story to top that. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. Before we go, I want to showcase another incredible act from ISACA Has Talent. Please enjoy this performance by Stephen Sim from Singapore. Thank you so much to Stephen for sharing your amazing talent with us. Until next time, please keep taking excellent care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you then. Bye.